All right! The inside of the treehouse is finally finished!
Great work, Leo. It looks awesome.
I can't wait to bring the whole chess club up here. We'll have a treehouse tournament!
Not so fast. If we're gonna share the treehouse and keep it clean like Dad said, we'll need some ground rules.
Ground rules?
How about every week we make a schedule of who gets to use it?
I call afternoons!
Every afternoon? How is that fair?
It's fair because I was the one who helped Dad build it.
But what does that have to do with making rules?
It means I worked hard, so I should be the one making them, not you. My own rules. I can taste the power.
Oh boy, I think we're gonna need some help.
My colleagues from Virginia will find this draft much to their liking. Those from New England, not so much. How can I make them agree? Think, Madison, think! Ah, good heavens!
Where are we, Layla?
I'm not sure, but I think it's somewhere important.
You think it's important? Young lady, I am James Madison, and this is the Constitutional Convention. In the room behind me, all of us delegates from all 13 states are trying to form a new government.
James Madison? Our country's fourth president? The father of the Constitution?
President? The father of the Constitution? Well, that does have a nice ring to it. Wait a minute. How do you know about the new Constitution? Why, it's not even finished yet. If you're foreign spies, then on guard.
We're not spies, Mr. Madison. We're from the future. My name is Layla.
And I'm Leo. I learned all about you in history class.
The future? History class? This is quite unprecedented. Leo, Layla, pleased to make your acquaintance.
Is this really the Constitutional Convention? This is unbelievable.
Well, if you don't believe me, see for yourself.
Look! There are the delegates!
Right you are. We've been here for months now, arguing, debating, and giving speeches. You see, our old agreement, the Articles of Confederation, was not effective. So now we're working hard to plan a new government that can bind us together as a nation, and without stepping on anyone's freedom. If we can all agree, then by God's grace, we'll have a republic.
That's exciting. Have you reached an agreement yet?
No, not quite. Trying to get everyone to agree on a new government is, well, proving difficult.
I see your point. Sharing power is not easy. Isn't that right, Mr. I Make the Rules?
Whatever, Layla. I still think I'm right.
Ugh, you're so getting on my nerves. We know you're busy, Mr. Madison, but we could really use your help. You see, we have a new treehouse, and our dad said we have to share it and keep it clean. We tried making some ground rules, but my brother and I can't agree.
But we both agree that I helped build it.
Leo, you know it's for the both of us. And plus, I'm older, so I should get some perks.
Now, children, I'm sure there's a solution. In fact, your struggle to share this treehouse reminds me of our struggle to form a new government.
What do you mean, Mr. Madison? Wait, do the Founding Fathers have a secret treehouse of their own?
No, nothing like that. I mean, agreeing on ground rules means both having power and granting power to someone else. It's not easy, and there needs to be compromise.
But why should I compromise when I did most of the work with Dad? Just because Layla's bigger? No way.
You have a point, Leo. We're facing a similar issue. Right now, larger and smaller states have concerns about being represented equally in our new government. Large states want representation to be based on each state's population, while small states are pushing for equal representation no matter the population of the state.
Well, I'm on team small states. They can't help that they're small.
Oh, right, Leo. Mr. Madison, is that the only issue you're facing?
Unfortunately, no. All of us delegates recognize the importance of having a stronger federal government, especially in these early stages of our new nation. But we also understand that many Americans have their concerns. Being ruled by Great Britain left a very bad taste in their mouths. We must find a way to convince them, because with no authority at all, the 13 states won't be able to make common laws, sign treaties with other countries, or raise taxes to pay off debt. Even worse, some states might turn against other states and start wars on their own. Chaos, if you ask me.
It sounds like a government with too much power can be dangerous, but one with no power won't work either. What's your solution?
I'm glad you asked, Layla. It's called separation of powers.
How will that work?
I can tell you how I hope it will work. You see, it's a new theory of government that hasn't really been tested yet. It's based on the work of my favorite French philosopher, Montesquieu.
Who?
Montesquieu. As we have been developing the Constitution, we've used Montesquieu's idea of separation of powers to divide the government into 3 separate branches.
That's right. The president doesn't have all the power. Who's going to tell George Washington?
Oh, he's well aware and supports the idea. The presidency is the executive branch, but there are 2 more branches that share the power of making and interpreting laws, the legislative and the judicial branches.
The president has some power, but he's not the one who makes the laws.
Right again. The legislative branch, made up of Congress, will make our laws. The president will approve the laws, but his most important job will be enforcing the law. But he doesn't explain the meaning of the law if there is a disagreement about it. That would be too much power. That'll be the job of the judiciary, or, as I'm calling it, the Supreme Court.
So Congress makes the laws, the president uses them to govern, but when a disagreement comes up, the Supreme Court plays referee, right?
Precisely. This way, power is separated and everyone's liberty is protected. Now, going back to your treehouse dilemma, it seems that neither of you should decide the entire schedule or do all of the cleaning. Perhaps you can separate those powers.
What if we take turns? I make the schedule one week and then Leo makes it the next week.
That could work. But then who cleans the treehouse?
We could take turns with that too. When you make the schedule, I'll clean. And when I make the schedule, you'll clean.
Great start, children. But I might interject. What happens when one of you has to clean up the other's mess? Would that present a problem?
Wait a minute. Layla, if you make a schedule that only lets you and your friends in the treehouse, then I'll be the one cleaning up your mess all week. That's not fair.
You know, I think you're right, Leo. Oh, I didn't think making rules would be this hard.
But we can't give up. If the delegates at the Constitutional Convention gave up, then we wouldn't have a government, or even a country.
That's right, Leo. We all want different things. But if we don't agree on how to govern ourselves, we'll have nothing. No treehouse, and certainly no republic. I've been working for weeks on this draft of the Constitution, but I still don't know how I'm going to get every state to ratify it.
Doesn't everyone like your plan for 3 branches of government?
Not everyone. Some worry that one branch of government will grow more powerful than the other 2 over time. I've been thinking hard about that objection, but I don't have an answer.
Sounds like we both could use some help. Hey, Mr. Madison, what would your favorite philosopher say?
Montesquieu? Why, he'd have plenty to say. Separating government into different branches was his idea.
Leo, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Definitely.
Ah! Mon Dieu! What on earth just happened?
So sorry to have bothered you, sir. My name is Leo, and this is my sister Layla.
We're from the future, which is where you are now. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1787.
The future? You are time travelers? That's incredible.
And that's not all. Mr. Montesquieu, meet James Madison, a future president of the United States.
Well, this is quite unprecedented. It's an honor to meet you, Baron de Montesquieu.
Ah, and likewise, Monsieur Madison.
I have to say, I'm a huge fan of your work. But you're probably wondering why we've initiated your visit. You see, in 1776, the 13 British colonies in North America fought a war against England and won our independence. I myself represent the former colony of Virginia. We're trying to form a new American government based on your ideas.
Wait. The colonies in America win a war against England? Incroyable.
Here's what happened. With no representation in the British Parliament, we colonists grew tired of England taxing us without our consent. Finally, we refused to pay, and when King George sent his armies, we fought back.
Well, of course. In my studies of ancient governments around the world, I've come across many rulers who tax the people unjustly. I call them despots. But I am sad to hear of England, a country I admire so, treating its colonial subjects this way. When I was young, England's glorious revolution gave the English people a constitution and a new parliament to limit the king's powers. But it sounds like England's colonies did not share in these developments.
Not at first, but with your country's generous help, we won our freedom. France's government loaned money and sent ships and soldiers to America during the war. We became allies, monsieur. On behalf of all of my fellow Americans, merci beaucoup.
On behalf of La France, you are welcome. Now, I'd like to hear more about this government you're creating. You said it was based on my ideas?
Yes, indeed. You've arrived at the Constitutional Convention, where I'm trying to get all 13 states to accept a constitution based on your greatest idea, separation of powers.
Mon Dieu! A new nation on the American continent, with a constitution and 3 branches of government nonetheless. How inspiring! It sounds like your efforts will protect the American people's liberty for generations to come.
I do hope so, but I'm having a hard time getting all of the delegates to agree.
Mr. Montesquieu, we could also use your help. My brother Leo and I need to find a way to share the new treehouse in our backyard. So far, we just don't see eye to eye.
Well, it's admirable that you're asking for help. That's a sign of wisdom. Tell me more about this treehouse.
Well, our dad said we have to share it and keep it clean, but I helped build it. Maybe I'm being a little selfish, but sharing something I helped build just doesn't feel fair.
That is understandable. In my studies of law and human nature, I have learned one thing. Human beings are ambitious. Sure, we can share and compromise, but we're always looking for a way to turn something to our advantage.
Well put! And if someone works hard at something, like building a treehouse or fighting a war for independence, of course they want a fair return for that effort. That's also part of human nature.
Wait a minute. I think I've got it. What if someone else makes the schedule? That way, we both have to follow it, and neither one of us will abuse our power.
You know, Leo, that might be the best solution. That makes me think of Mr. Montesquieu's idea for a government with separated powers.
It certainly does. Someone making a fair, impartial schedule for both of you reminds me of the judicial branch of the government, and no republic can function without it. I'm curious, who do you have in mind?
I think our mom could do it. She won't be using the treehouse herself, so I think she'd be fair to both of us. What do you think, Leo?
Yeah, I think Mom's the best choice. This means I'll have to share the treehouse with you, Layla. I still don't like it, but I know that's a good thing. Goodbye, ultimate power.
Splendid! I'm glad you children found a solution.
As am I. By agreeing to share the treehouse, you both recognize each other's inherent dignity or the worth and value you have as a person. And now by agreeing to let a third party make the schedule, you've found a way to check and balance that power. Très magnifique!
That's it!
Pardonnez-moi?
Checks and balances. That's the final piece to the new Constitution. And that's how I'll get every state to agree and ratify it.
I'm curious what you mean.
You've just reminded me that deep down, everyone is ambitious. But at the same time, God gives everyone inherent dignity. So, to protect that dignity and to give that ambition some place to go, I'm going to give each branch of the new government some power over the other branches. That way, each branch will check and balance the other.
Another incredible idea! If each branch has a unique power over the other two, then that will stop one branch from becoming too powerful over time. The more I hear about this new nation on the American continent, the more excited I am that these ideas will be put to the test.
How does this sound? When Congress makes a law, the president can veto it. He doesn't have to approve every single law they make.
Wow, you are really onto something there, Monsieur Madison.
I cannot thank you enough, Montesquieu. Your book, The Spirit of the Laws, inspired my friends and me, and without your wisdom, we'd probably never find a way to share and separate power.
And my sister and I would still be arguing over a way to share that treehouse. Thanks again.
It was my pleasure. Now, how exactly does this time travel work again?
Don't worry, Mr. Montesquieu. Just hold on.
Goodbye, Mr. Montesquieu and Mr. Madison.
Till we meet again. Adieu.
Well, kids, I'm honored that you asked me to be your treehouse scheduler. How did you come up with that idea?
Well, just like the 3 branches of our government, we don't want either one of us to have too much power. So we decided to give that power to you.
How thoughtful. But don't think I'll be the one cleaning up after you.
Of course not. Layla and I agreed that whoever uses the treehouse will clean it up when they're done.
Perfect. Layla, it's very generous of you to let your brother and his chess club have the treehouse for the first week.
Well, by helping Dad, I think Leo earned it.
Treehouse chess tournament, here we come. On guard!
If you like time traveling with Leo and Layla, watch more of their adventures at PragerUkids.com.
And the parents, don't forget to subscribe.